read an article yesterday.
You did. It's true.
I'm a reader.
Sometimes you read.
I'm a reader. Read an article by a guy whose name you've probably heard before if you haven't read his stuff. Dennis Dodd. Dennis Dodd has been around the college football game for a while. Writes for CBS Sports. I believe was he the guy who was with the Indianapolis Star for a while?
I believe so.
Yes, he's with CBS Sports. He has an article at CBSSports.com. The headline: College football heads in wrong direction with largest attendance drop in 34 years. The long and short of it is that the FBS average this past year for attendance was 42,203, which is the lowest since 1997. It is the largest drop in fans, which is they have 1,409 fans. Fewer in 2017 than in 2016. Attendance is down significantly over the past years, and more importantly, this is just kind of been a trend. If you look at the dips and the decline in attendance of the top 10 years where you've had the biggest decline, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them have been in the last 8 years. It's not good.
Nope.
It's not good. And we can talk about why that's not good. One thing is that colleges make money off of the gate. That seems kind of obvious, but like that is an important revenue source for universities is people going to games and not just buying tickets, but buying merchandise and buying concessions and things like that. And so, I want to talk first and foremost about why this is happening. Do you know? Because I don't.
Actually, I do. I really
thoughts.
I think this is a pretty easy thing to understand, and it's not just a college football problem. Household incomes across America are stagnant.
Correct.
Prices to go to sporting events are going up.
Correct.
And the experience of staying at home is both affordable and getting better. Right? TV broadcasts only improve.
I think you hit a lot of the things I wanted to.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, you're right, is that college football is primarily a sport for middle-class Joes. It's a sport for me. It's not a sport for you, is what I'm saying. But
Very funny.
Thank you. It is a sport that is it gained acclaim because it was accessible.
Right.
In the days where it was too expensive to go to NFL games.
Right.
It's fine. I'll go to college games.
And the college games are probably closer to home. There's more options closer to home.
That's exactly
cheaper
right.
to travel.
You're right. But when you have a stagnant middle class, if not declining middle class, and people are not making as much money as they used to, people are going to have less disposable income, and they're going to be less inclined to spend it going out. Because I want you to think about when you got to think about going to a sporting event, don't think about you going to a sporting event. You got to think the family of four.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I know we are big college football junkies, but they are making their money on the family of four coming to the game. It's mom, dad, son, daughter. Come into the game. Now they're paying $40 a pop to get in.
4 tickets.
That's $160 before you walk. Oh, and by the way, they're probably paying $20 park.
Exactly.
It's probably $180 right there. Okay? You got to feed everybody.
Yeah.
Let's just say let's say you bargain basement and you get $10 a piece to feed everybody.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you are down, you are out $220 just like that.
Yeah.
That's an expensive trip.
Yeah.
$220 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
For a Saturday, and especially when you said the other part, which is, why wouldn't we just sit at home and watch it?
Especially, I mean, look, the game day experience is amazing. That's what makes college special, right? Tailgating, being on campuses, that never changes. But what also doesn't change in Texas is the first half of the season is 1,000,000 degrees, right? And if you are not ready to sit in the sun for 4 hours, the games are getting longer too.
Yes.
That's part of the problem. If you're not ready to sit in the sun for 4 hours in 100-degree heat, and you'd just rather be at home, have your friends over, and watch the game in awesome HD on your big TV, which is now more affordable, why wouldn't you do that?
Yes,
You know?
I think you're exactly right. The other thing that's interesting is you're seeing more and more of the not to get too far into the weeds, but the personal seat licenses, where basically you have to buy your seat even before you buy a ticket,
Right.
to have season tickets. College football used to be really affordable.
Right.
And the bottom line of it is that it's just getting less affordable,
Yeah.
and the TV experience is getting incredible.
Yeah.
It's getting really, really
You
good.
literally watch any game in America now.
That's what
which
we
is
do.
Nuts. Which is what we do.
When's the last time you attended a college football game? Now, part of it is that we have to work.
Just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun.
The last time I attended a college football game just for fun?
It's been like 4 years for me.
It's been no, because you've gone to a couple games. You went to the Army.
Oh, that's right. I
North
went to the
Texas
Army
game
game
this year for
That's
the hell
right,
of
I
it.
did
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
that.
And you had a fun time.
I did.
Yeah.
I met the Army mascot.
Yeah. It's been a long time for
It
me
has-
to just
right.
go to a game and take it in.
Right, and part of it
Probably
is
10
that,
years.
and part of it is that why would you go and spend 4 hours? Because that's the other thing is that the
Yeah.
games are getting longer,
Yeah.
and the time commitment there is huge. Which, by the way, you're
Yeah.
probably tailgating at least an hour beforehand, and you're not going to get home
Yeah.
until an hour. It's a 6-hour thing. It's
Yeah.
a whole day affair, and it's just why would you do that when instead, if the game stinks, you can just flip the channel as
Mhm.
opposed to I'm leaving.
Right.
You know what I mean? That is, to me, the biggest thing is those two factors. The time element, the time commitment, and the monetary commitment have just become so much
Yep.
that we're reaching a breaking point.
Yeah.
Look, college football is still going to survive. Nobody's predicting the doom of college football, but I do think it's interesting that the attendance numbers are declining. One other thing that's very interesting, and I don't know if you're familiar with pun master Adam Jacoby on Twitter.
Oh, I'm familiar.
So he had four.
unfortunately.
He gave four reasons why. He said the shrinking disposable income, blah blah blah, the home TV experience, which we named. Smartphones are unusable in stadiums.
That's true too. Yeah.
That's an interesting point. If you've ever tried to go to forget college football, okay? If you ever tried to go to a crowded baseball game
Yeah.
and try to use your phone,
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that, I think, could be something that people are doing. The other thing, it's interesting. He said, number 4, needlessly onerous security, including, he writes this is Adam Jacoby, including antagonizing half your fan base with the clear bag rule.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I will tell you, my wife hates that clear bag rule.
Yeah.
And if you're unfamiliar, that they say you cannot basically bring purses
Yeah.
in. And that is not, they will try to tell you, the man
Yeah.
will try to tell you that that's so that you can't sneak a bomb in or a
Right,
gun
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
They have metal detectors for
Right.
that.
Yeah.
It is so you can't sneak food or drink in.
Yeah.
Which is just so, the phrase needlessly onerous is so perfect
Yep.
for that. Because it is. So, those are, to me, the problems. That is what is really worrying about the dip in college football attendance, which, by the way, I think is going to continue. I think it's going to keep going one way.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's just like, the NFL, everything else, whatever your thoughts were on the NFL this year, the attendance is the same. The reason attendance goes down in any of these sports right now is because it's just too expensive.
Too expensive.
It's ridiculous.
It's too
They're
expensive.
gouging people.
And to go back to, one of the reasons that I think you've seen, and I would need to look at the numbers, but I would bet that you would see, I bet high school football attendance in this state is up. Because if you need your football fix, that is
good entertainment.
what has always set Texas high school football as in general, but here we talk Texas high school football because it's the best. But what sets it apart, and what I think reason it has staying power, is because at its core, it's cheap entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cheap. The games are 2.5 hours long,
Yeah.
and you're done.
Yep.
Okay? When I started watching Premier League soccer,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
one of the I was like, I'm going to start rooting for this dumb team, right?
Yeah.
QPR. And my wife rolled her eyes like, great.
Another
sport.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the thing I told her, I was like, Jen, here's the great news.
Yeah.
2 hours.
We're done.
You are done.
Less than 2 hours.
99% of games.
2 hours.
2 hours and you're done.
Yep.
It's a 2-hour commitment.
Yep.
You can't get that with any other sport.
Every other sport seems to be getting longer.
Yes. If I'm college football, those are the two things I attack. One is you got to make the games cheaper. You got to make it more accessible and make it so that you got to make sure you're making the money on the concessions, okay?
Yeah.
Because the tickets have got to be cheaper, the parking has got to be cheaper. I bet you're going to see more teams start serving beer.
Probably.
I bet so, because that's another thing. Is a lot of people want to go to sporting events to get drunk for some reason. That's one thing.
Probably because the team's so bad half the time.
Probably true. That's why we beat them nearly half the time. Yeah. So there's that. The other thing is that they have got to shorten the games.
Yeah.
College football is almost painful to watch sometimes.
Yeah. So it's a long afternoon.
Like when you and I, and obviously as part of our job, we watch a lot of college football around the state, right?
Yeah.
And there were teams I really liked watching.
Yeah.
I liked watching TCU.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching SMU. They were exciting.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed watching Texas Tech, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I know that Tech fans are shuddering right now.
That's because you don't have anything. You don't have any stake in it.
I don't have any stake in the game, right? But there is nothing worse than watching a bad team play for 4 hours. It's awful. They have got to get that down, and I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
I think what you've got to do is you've probably got to shorten halftime, and I think you've got to limit the number of media timeouts, which I know somewhere my boss at Fox Sports Southwest's head just exploded.
Hey, quiet, Tepper.
No. I'm just saying that college football has to meet the fan, because the fan is in a lot of respects losing interest in meeting college football. They have to come back to them. Anyway, let us know what you think.